Forza Motorsport have just announced the big fix. This is the fix that they think is going to bring Forza back and is going to completely change the aspect of the game that everyone hates. I mean, I'm not joking. Everyone hates what they've got currently and everyone wants to see a change. So is this going to fix Forza Motorsport? It could very well do because it's massive. They are literally burning this down and completely replacing it. And I'm going to explain what they're doing in this video. And I'm not sure they've really, by the way, thought all this through. I think there's going to be some unintended side effects here. But this is about car progression in Forza Motorsport. You can see here the text on screen. And what they want to do is give players more freedom. Now, I'll need to explain why this is such a big issue. And this has been the biggest issue with Forza since day one. I called this out when I was seeing them doing the launch video. Said this isn't going to fly. I don't think that many other YouTubers did, which I found surprising. But anyway, it's come out here and they're going to change it. So this is Forza Motorsport you're watching now, the latest Forza Motorsport. And you can see there's lots of stuff greyed out. Now, Forza Motorsport is effectively the 8th in the Forza Motorsport series. We've had 7 games before where we've been able to buy cars and immediately upgrade them and tune them how we want. And that gives us a lot of freedom and a lot of sort of like attachment to our cars. And you can see here there's so much stuff greyed out. So before you could take a car and you could race it in a series, and then you know what? You could upgrade that car and race it against faster cars in a faster series. And you'd be like, this is my plucky underdog car. And now I'm racing against supercars. And it was amazing. And I remember the cars I had. And then I do liveries for those cars. And then they'd be my favourite cars. And I take photos of them. And the whole game made sense. Well, currently in Forza Motorsport, you can't do that because you're limited. You're locked away until you level up the car or you have relevant car points. And you saw on those screens a lot of stuff was greyed out. So this is part of the big change. They are removing all of the locked part mechanics, so all car parts can be accessed at car level 1 for every car in the game. So you can install the upgrades as soon as possible. You have the freedom to build cars your way. Absolutely huge. So what that means now is as soon as you buy a car, you can do what you want with it. I'm going to explain in this video how that works, what the limitations still are. But we don't have to wait for these car leveling. And the car leveling was very arbitrary because in 2 ways. Firstly, the car leveling was quite boring. You just had to go around and drive, or not drive it turned out, because people would use the accessibility settings and let the game run overnight and then they'd level the car up to 50, which is like, I hate features in games like that. I called out Gran Turismo for that when it came to rubber banding, grinding, and the same here. Really is like a failure of game design in my opinion when you come to that. And the other arbitrary element was that the car leveling unlocked parts in a certain way. So you can see me here driving around in the BMW. This is a race where the car was not tuned at all. I wanted to try out the car. And I knew after that race immediately I needed to put better brakes in and better tyres. But the car levels that I had passed in that race did not allow me to unlock those critical paths. So absolutely the opposite flexibility. Now I asked you guys and girls, my viewers here, to put your feedback in the comments on this. And we know the guys at Forza watch these videos and they also have been listening to your votes in the forum as well. And that's why they've addressed this. It is a big about turn. I do want to give them a lot of credit for doing this, by the way. I want to give them credit for actually trying something different in the first place. And I want to give them credit for changing it. And I'm not sponsored to say that or anything, but it was a new idea. It didn't work out and they're going to change it. So here we go. Secondly, in addition to earning car points through leveling up the car, you will be able to use in-game credits to acquire car points. So it's a little bit nuanced, isn't it? So you still need to buy the parts using car points, but now we can use our credits to acquire car points. And you get credits for winning races and winning championships and all that kind of good stuff. Previous Forzas, you've earned credits for selling your cars and the auction house stuff, but that's not a feature in this Forza Motorsport. Maybe they'll add it in. But that means that they've retained this part of the car point system, but you have to use credits to buy the car points. So I know what they're trying to do here. It might not be obvious, but let me explain. What they're trying to do is they're trying to pretend that they're not getting rid of this system completely. Because they've kept the car points in and the car leveling, if you never buy car points with your credits, you can essentially have the same experience at launch, albeit you're no longer restricted to the parts in the order of the car leveling, if that makes sense. So if they feel like they're not completely throwing out a system. In reality, I think everyone's going to be buying car points with credits. But then you have this interesting situation that there is now like a exchange rate of credits to car points. So again, I hate this in games. I used to play FIFA quite aggressively. I used to be in the esports like weekend league, and you also had to essentially have a business major in running the FIFA market of cards to have enough credits to buy the best players. And I feel like I hate a slide like this. Like, oh my god, I work hard enough in real life to not have to do this when I play games. But anyway, that's what I think. So there's a ratio of 4,500 credits for 500 car points, and you can see here that if you want to upgrade the Golf R, which is the all-wheel drive one, right? It would cost you, I think that's about 9,000 credits. So that seems fair to me, because when you think about how much cars cost in Forza, and cars are actually quite cheap in Forza, much cheaper than Gran Turismo 7, which is very interesting. You don't have the equivalent of the 20 million credit cars in Gran Turismo, which is about $200 in real world money. So actually you'll be able to buy cars and upgrade them to the max with relatively cheap credits, and they're quite, I say cheap in terms of time, they're easy to obtain. And that's really important, I think, because you'll be able to apply tunes quite easily. You won't have to worry about running out of credits. So they've gone for a balance here that I think is quite generous. They couldn't afford to be too stingy on that, because they get absolutely slated. So we've got the brand discounts as well. So you get a discount of 5% when you get to car level 50, so when you max out the car leveling, and you get some loyalty discounts stacks as well. Now, it is quite cool. I do like the leveling up of the cars. Again, I want to say this. I like it in the top right when you're getting these points and the cars are leveling up. And I like looking and seeing what are the cars that have leveled up the most. I don't have that in Gran Turismo. In Gran Turismo, all I can look at is the mileage. But there's cars in Gran Turismo that I've battled with, gone to war with, won incredible races, won league races, and there's no real rare tracking that. So I do like the car leveling system, and they are keeping that. But what they tried to do is they tried to be too restrictive, and I think it's an important lesson to learn, because I think racing games in a way are actually sandbox games like, you know, Grand Theft Auto, or I don't know what other sandbox games you want to talk about, Far Cry series, Fallout. They're kind of, they are playgrounds for us to have our own fun. And we want to do our dream races, and everyone's dream races and dream storyline in a racing game is completely different, actually. And so when you apply this arbitrary restriction, you actually pretend that you know what people want to do. And I feel like that was a little bit arrogant to expect that, because we all play these games differently. And these games, when they work, are incredible things because they're platforms where so many people can come who want to do different things. If you want to race single player, multiplayer, you want to do liveries, you want to take photos, you all come in the same space. And Gran Turismo 7 has got to that point. So we can see here that Forza Motorsport Update 6 is coming in March 2024. That's awesome. We'll see what else is going to come in that update. We know the Nürburgring is going to come. By the way, I am giving away a direct drive Logitech G Pro wheel and pedal, so check the link in the description for that. Make sure you enter, and I will see you next time.